Well, that was not the comeback anyone expected. You know when a movie hypes up the return of a character like they're about to save the world, and then they show up and trip on their own entrance? That was Angel Reese's return to the Chicago sky. Except it wasn't a movie. It was live, national, and instantly clipped into 100 viral edits within minutes. She was supposed to be the moment, the energy, the game changer. After weeks of mysterious silence and tabloid-level speculation over where she'd gone and why she wasn't playing, the long-anticipated return against the Seattle Storm was billed as a redemption arc.
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
The Savior's second coming. But instead, it looked like the hype swallowed her whole. Missed layups, defensive breakdowns, zero rhythm. The girl who once owned the internet now looked completely lost on the court. Not just physically out of sync, but mentally detached. Like even she wasn't sure why she was there. It wasn't just a bad night. It was a full-blown branding implosion. And the internet, as it always does, wasted zero time turning it into a memefest. Some fans compared her to a tourist in her own jersey. Others jokingly asked if Reebok had sent out a hologram. And the cruelest one? She's no Caitlin Clark. For words that instantly lit the match. Because that's the comparison now, isn't it? Whether fair or not, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are forever tied together in the pop culture psyche. It started in college. It carried into the draft. It got louder with every endorsement, every press conference, every passive-aggressive tweet. One was crowned the golden child. The other? Cast as the foil, the fire, the one who plays with nails, lashes, and an attitude. But last night, it didn't feel like a rivalry anymore. It felt like a gap. Let's talk numbers. Chicago's now sitting at 8-26. Read that again. 8 wins. And playoff hopes? Dead on arrival. Meanwhile, over in Indiana, Caitlin Clark is doing what no rookie should be able to do, reviving a dead franchise with grace, poise, and highlight reels that break view records before the game even ends. It's not just about the scoreboard. It's about impact. Because while Angel's return was billed like a Marvel movie, Caitlin's every game feels like an event. And not because of flashy marketing, but because of results. You watch Caitlin, and you believe in the system, the strategy, the future. You watch Angel Reese, and you start questioning the whole operation. Chicago didn't just lean on Reese. They bet the house on her. The billboards, the press tours, the all-eyes-on-me Instagram strategy. She wasn't introduced as a rookie. She was introduced as a franchise. The face that would pull them out of mediocrity and into championship contention. But right now, all that hype is blowing in the wind like a deflated mascot balloon. And then there's the elephant in the arena. Her absence. 1 full month. Zero transparency. No injury report. No detailed explanation. Just vague statements and personal matters speculation. In an era where fans crave access, where every step is analyzed, every tweet becomes content, Angel's vanishing act felt like a PR black hole. She disappeared, the team floundered, and the trust? Yeah, it cracked. Because sports fans are loyal, but they're not blind. And when you vanish during the worst stretch of your team season, show up weeks later with a subpar performance, and say nothing meaningful about it, people notice, people talk, and most importantly, people move on. Now, let's be clear, Angel Reese is not a bad player. She puts up stats. She works hard. Her rebounding? Solid. Her physicality? Still a force. But basketball isn't just about checking boxes. It's about influence, presence, leadership. And right now, the Chicago Sky feel like a team looking for someone to follow. Someone who shows up every night, whether things are good, bad, or downright embarrassing. And you know who's doing exactly that? Caitlin Clark. Through wins, losses, fouls, and social media storms, Caitlin hasn't flinched. She laces up. She speaks with clarity. She leads. She gives you 100%, not just in stats, but in presence. And her team? They respond. You can see it in their spacing, their chemistry, their hustle. Indiana might not be a title contender yet, but they're building something real. And that's more than Chicago can say. Right now, The Sky looked like a team trying to market their way out of a losing season. Every press release screams, "We're fine," while the scoreboard says absolutely not. They've wrapped Angel Reese in glitter, sold her as the hero, and forgotten the one thing you can't fake in this league: wins. Without them, the glitz fades fast. And Angel? She's starting to feel like a brand stuck in beta mode. All rollout, no return. So, where does she go from here? Because let's be honest, she's not going to quietly bow out. Angel knows she's under the microscope. She's watching the memes, reading the comments, hearing the whispers, and somewhere deep down, she has to be asking herself the same thing everyone else is. Is this still her moment? Because the WNBA doesn't wait for narratives to catch up. It rewards consistency, effort, growth. And right now, Angel's on the verge of being known as the player who made the most noise and the least difference. That doesn't have to be the end of the story. But something has to change. The leadership has to be real, not performative. The social media has to follow results, not replace them. The presence? It has to be earned, night after night, possession after possession. And the truth is, this isn't just about Angel. It's about the whole culture of sports marketing. We're watching the consequences of crowning stars before they've proven their place, of building hype machines with no foundation underneath. Because the moment you promise greatness, you better deliver. Otherwise, people stop believing. And right now, in Chicago, belief is running on fumes. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark just dropped 30, sold out another merch line, and walked off the court like she's got 15 more years of this in the tank. She's not just winning games, she's winning faith. And that's what makes the difference. So, Angel, you got the attention. Now it's time to earn the respect. Because the next time you show up on live TV, you better own it. Not with a press quote, not with a sponsorship, but with results. Until then, the crown doesn't belong to hype. It belongs to whoever shows up and keeps showing up. And right now, that crown is sitting on Caitlin Clark's head, glued down and locked in. Comment below. Is Angel Reese still the future, or has the league already passed her by? And if you're rooting for a comeback, what would it take for her to flip this narrative? Don't forget to hit subscribe, because in the world of professional sports, one bad game is a meme, but 3 bad games? That's a reputation. And this story? It's far from over. Because here's the thing no one wants to say out loud, but everyone is thinking. Angel Reese is dangerously close to becoming a cautionary tale. The kind you tell rookies when they come into the league, all wide-eyed and brand-ready. Don't be all flash. Don't let the endorsements outpace the effort. Don't become that player. The one who had the spotlight, the backing, the cultural momentum, and let it slip through their fingers because they mistook attention for achievement. And it didn't have to be this way. It still doesn't. But the gap between what Angel says she is and what she's actually delivering is growing too wide to ignore. Let's rewind to the beginning of the season. Angel was everywhere. The Sky rolled her out like a superhero. Intro videos, glitzy edits, hype quotes, courtside outfits, camera zoom-ins after every rebound. They built the entire identity of their franchise around her. She's the future. She's bringing grit to Chicago. She's the new face of the league. And to be fair, it worked at first. The seats were fuller. The clicks were up. People who'd never cared about the WNBA were suddenly tuning in, even if it was just to see what Angel would do next. She was polarizing. She was magnetic. But now, that magnetism is starting to lose its pull. Because eventually, the highlights have to be real. And fans? They know when they're being sold a dream. You can only post so many tunnel fits before people start asking. Cool outfit, but where's the leadership? You can only retweet so many motivational quotes before someone goes. But did she even box out tonight? You can only ride the Bayou Barbie wave for so long before reality asks, where's the scoreboard? And let's not forget, this isn't just a you versus the league situation. This is Angel Reese living in a post-Caitlin Clark WNBA. Because everything Angel does now is viewed through that lens. Not just because Caitlin's her rival, but because Caitlin's over there doing exactly what Angel promised she would. Caitlin's got the big minutes, the highlight plays, the court vision, the team trust, and, let's be honest, the composure. She's not storming off. She's not vague posting. She's not ducking post-game questions or leaving fans guessing about injuries. She's just showing up. Every game, every quarter, every second. And that consistency, that's what wins hearts long-term. Caitlin's building a foundation. Angel's riding a roller coaster. And lately, it's been all downhill. But let's talk about the part no one's giving enough airtime to. The team itself. The Chicago Sky are a mess. And it's not all Angel's fault. The roster's unbalanced. The coaching changes haven't clicked. There's no clear offensive identity. And when your best player is expected to also be the emotional leader, the defensive anchor, and the marketing machine all at once, that's a recipe for burnout, especially if you're a rookie. In fairness, the front office did Angel no favors. They set her up to be the one, without building the right support around her. It's like handing someone a broken-down car and expecting them to win the Indy 500. She never got a real system. She got a spotlight and a prayer. And that's where things get messy. Because Angel is trying. You see it in flashes when she's aggressive on the glass, when she's locking in on defense, when she gets that fire in her eyes that made her a college legend. She wants this, but wanting it isn't enough in the pros. You need discipline, accountability, growth. You need to adapt. And that's the part we haven't seen yet. Where's the development? The bounce back? The proof that she's more than a viral moment? That she can adjust to adversity, take the heat, and still deliver? Because let's be clear, everyone's watching now. Not just fans, not just brands. Everyone, teammates, sponsors, the league. The future rookies dreaming of becoming the next Angel Reese. They're all watching to see, will she respond? Or will she fold under the weight of her own hype? Because here's the truth they don't teach you in media training. Being a franchise player isn't about always winning. It's about how you lose, how you show up after a bad night, what you say in the locker room, what you do in practice, whether you stay and shoot free throws when the cameras are gone. That's what builds legacy. That's what keeps the spotlight when the new shiny name shows up. And Caitlin Clark? She's got that part down. She's out there making teammates better, staying calm under pressure, and literally reshaping the way the WNBA is covered, consumed, and talked about. She doesn't need to tweet about being the face of the league. She already is. And that must eat at Angel, even just a little, because deep down, she knows they were neck and neck once. And now, one's out here fighting for a playoff spot. The other's fighting to prove she's not just a marketing ghost. But here's the flip side. This could be Angel's turning point. Every athlete, every great one, has had a fall. A moment where the praise turns to pressure. The hype turns hostile. The fair-weather fans vanish, and the real world kicks in. Kobe had it. Serena had it. LeBron definitely had it. And they all had a choice. Retreat into the noise or rise through it. That's the moment Angel Reese is in right now. Does she want to be remembered as a media darling who couldn't convert the hype? Or as the player who reclaimed her story, evolved her game, and came back sharper, smarter, and unstoppable? Because the comeback? It's right there for the taking. It starts with accountability, a raw press conference, an honest post, something real that resets the tone, that says, yeah, I've fallen off, but I'm not done. Then it's reps, practice, defense, leadership, not flashy stuff, fundamentals. The gritty, unsexy work that transforms a brand into a legend. Because here's the twist. Fans will forgive you. The league will give you space. The media will love the comeback arc. But you have to earn it. With every box out, every team huddle, every missed shot followed by a hustle play that nobody tweets about. So while it be Angel, another viral moment, or a real one, because the next game, the next presser, the next choice you make, that's going to define everything. Because here's the thing no one wants to admit. We're still rooting for Angel Reese. Yes, she's made mistakes. Yes, her return against Seattle was a mess. Yes, her branding is starting to feel like it's running on fumes. But there's still something about her. Something raw. Something magnetic. Something that feels unfinished in the best way. Like we've only seen the trailer, and the real movie hasn't even started yet. And maybe that's why the backlash stings so much. Because we wanted her to win. Not just in the numbers, not just in the memes, but in the story. The redemption arc. The comeback. The climb from misunderstood villain to undeniable legend. We wanted to see her step back onto that court after weeks of silence and shut everybody up. Instead, we got a disjointed performance and an even more disjointed narrative. But maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what makes this moment important. Because now, it's real. The shine has worn off. The press isn't fawning. The tweets aren't filtered through rose-colored lenses. This isn't about college legacy or brand deals anymore. This is about performance, about resilience, about whether Angel Reese, the athlete, the leader, the face, can stand in the middle of a firestorm and grow. Because if you've ever followed sports long enough, you know one thing. The greats don't just show up. They struggle. They fall. They fail in public, in humiliating, meme-able, live broadcast fashion. And it's in those moments, not the highlight reels, where they find out who they really are. Right now, Angel is standing in that storm. Alone. No Reebok campaign can fix this. No sideline fit. No carefully worded tweet. Not even a stat sheet can cover the fact that her team is drowning and she's supposed to be the life vest. And that's the moment that decides whether she'll be just a name or a legacy. Because this league, it doesn't care who had more nil money in college. It doesn't care how many followers you have. It doesn't care who won the championship 2 years ago. The league wants to know, what are you doing now? And right now, the scoreboard says not enough. But it could say something else. That's the most frustrating part. It could. The tools are there. The hunger is there. Angel's never lacked fire. She just needs direction. A reset. A reframe. She needs to pull the plug on the performance and reconnect with the game. You know what would change everything? A game where she doesn't care about the cameras. Where she's not posing, not scrolling, not plotting a clap back. A game where she comes out with her head down, her jaw clenched, and her eyes locked in. Where she throws her body on the floor for loose balls. Takes a charge. Hypes up her teammates even when she's on the bench. Doesn't check the scoreboard, just leads. That kind of game would change the entire narrative. Because here's the truth no one wants to post about. We love a comeback. We love it more than a debut, more than a highlight. There's something deeply satisfying about watching someone fall flat, get dragged, counted out, and then rise anyway. That's what made Jordan iconic. What made Serena invincible. What gave Kobe his mythos. Not the perfect seasons, but the seasons they struggled. When they kept showing up, kept pushing, even when it wasn't cute or clean or easy. That's the lane Angel Reese is standing in now. And she needs to choose fast. Because the longer she leans on branding over ball, the colder the support gets. The league is watching. The fans are shifting. Even the brands are starting to hesitate. Because hype without delivery, it's expensive. And nobody wants to bet on a storyline that won't evolve. That's why the Caitlin Clark comparisons hurt so much. Because Clark is evolving. She's not just scoring. She's facilitating, she's leading, she's lifting her team when the pressure's highest. She makes it look effortless, but it's not. It's work. It's preparation. It's long nights, deep film study, quiet leadership that never asks for a camera crew. Angel has that or two, somewhere. We've seen flashes. The hustle plays in college. The emotional leadership. The moments where she didn't need to talk because her game spoke louder than any tweet ever could. But she has to tap back into that version of herself. Because right now, the Bayou Barbie brand is making more noise than the basketball. And here's the thing. It's not that she can't have both. You can be marketable and meaningful. You can rock lashes and lashes of fans and still box out like your life depends on it. You can be stylish and gritty. You can post selfies after you earn the W. But you can't skip the work. You can't microwave greatness. You can't expect the league to crown you off vibes and potential alone. It has to be earned. Brick by brick. Game by game. Possession by possession. So here's the moment. The pivot point. The script flip. Angel Reese can let the mockery stick. Let the memes define her. Let the she's no Caitlin Clark crowd set the tone. Or she can start the most satisfying, most dramatic, most redemptive comeback arc we've seen in modern women's sports. It starts with honesty. A raw interview. A press conference where she doesn't dodge the hard questions. Where she says, yeah, I heard the talk. I've seen the clips. And I know I haven't been the leader I promised to be. Because that's real. And then she shows up. Game after game. No excuses. No sideline sulking. No branding fluff. Just ball. Just energy. Just that gritty, relentless, headband-wearing, elbow-throwing Angel Reese that everyone fell in love with during the LSU run. She can still be that. She can be more than that. She can be iconic. But not until she stops trying to prove something and starts becoming something. Because right now, the league isn't looking for drama. It's looking for delivery. So what's it going to be, Angel? More tweets? More silence? Or the game of your life?